Hello, 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 hello. You guys seem pretty legit. You guys seem pretty cool. And pin this link and see that big fat face. Good message. All right, yeah. So this stream's gonna be great. It's gonna be me and OTW with the scheduled discussion for these fucking dragons, dude. It's fucking intense, man. These dragons have been blowing my fucking mind ever since I showed them to me, dude. Fucking investments. So yeah, if you guys are looking for good investments, some people recommend certain things, based on the state of the world. But I say go ahead and get those fucking McFarlane dragons, dude. Stock up, keep them close, keep them tight, keep it real. You know what I mean? It's fucking. You can never go wrong with a dragon investment, if you ask me. Like over time, like 20 years from now, who the fuck knows? Sky's the limit. You know what I mean? Dragons flying around the sky, breathing fire, mythological shit. It's fucking awesome, man. Jimmy Shively, what's up, dude? Come on up and say hi, man. I don't know. I think I've seen you on stream before. You're up there in California, Northern Cali, right? I don't know. I'm getting confused. But hell yeah, dude. Moving right along, guys. Yeah, we got these fucking dragons. Joe Cool got called out earlier. That was kind of cool to see. Being held accountable. For all this lukewarm bullshit going around, But you guys are legit, dude. I don't know exactly what I want to get into. But how about we start off, Jimmy Shively, with a couple more readings from this question I asked on Reddit one day. I said, what's the most embarrassing thing that happened that you witnessed happen to a teacher? So we'll go ahead and read a few more of these replies. You know what I mean? NJ Jeep Girl, what's going on, bro? Shay, what's up? What's up, Sweetums? Yes, sir. NorCal. Yeah, NorCal's cool, man. I got my buddy. I don't know if you know Daryl Davis, but he's out there. I stayed with him for a couple months. He's got a farm out there, Flat Earth Farms. And he's pretty legit, dude. Very generous guy in the industry. I know that the industry that he's in the marijuana industry. It's like, man, he was telling me the prices, that things are going for nowadays. Like, cause he's legit. You know what I mean? He sells the dispensaries and stuff. And just the prices, man. The market just dropped so low, dude. It's just put so many, because hey, what's up, Mimi? Great to see you. Yeah, and I want to let you know, Mimi, that that PayPal you sent me a while back, like it finally worked. Like it was working to pay some Patrons, and I was able to take it off. So I just want to let you know, because I think, you know what I mean? I was having trouble with that, so I didn't want to rub you the wrong way. Like, oh, I sent him money, I can't even fucking access it. No, I really appreciate that. It really came in handy. So thank you, Mimi. Shout out for that. What's up, Damsel Medic? You did a great job today on Paul's stream. You were very, very clear and concise. And it's just interesting when we break these things down. Although I do, a lot of us have like the hard hat moments where like, damn, am I a narcissist? And it's usually, if that's a question, if you're asking that question, that's usually a pretty good sign. I've heard, because I've done all my research into this too, like trying to research family members and different things. It's like, yeah, it's all the craze nowadays, like this videos on narcissism. So I appreciate your perspective on that. Got metaphysician here. I'm not sure how much I know about that person. Got Michelle Moretti saying hi, ladies and gents. Beautiful Michelle Moretti. A nice picture. I always got to point out that picture, get a closer look. Very articulate, informative damsel. Yeah. Yeah, so like I guess I take it for granted that some of the things I've researched or familiar with, that when someone explains it like that, I don't think about, oh, other people maybe don't even. But I'm sure Jeep Girl, a lot of us in these communities seem to be have like a well-rounded like scope of information. Learning about a lot of things. Oh, thank you, Michelle. She said she's glad to see me. Yeah, it felt good today to stream earlier. And then Paul went live. I said, fuck it, I'll double down. I got to try to get better at this maybe. So maybe get back to doing it daily. Maybe hit you guys up for 28 days in a row, and then y'all fuck that point. I think I did the 28 days in a row before. So I had a little something going on. Had a little, you get consistent with your time that you do it too, then you start getting a little bit of momentum, start making a little bit of progress. So yeah, maybe things were going well, and I just had to sabotage it, had to step away. You know what I mean? Had to put the covers over it. I'm scared. I'm scared of success. You guys are pretty cool. Ladies showing love to each other. That's nice. Thank you for ladies. A bunch of women in here. I appreciate that. So I'm just reading the shit shyly saying here. Yeah, I used to, back when it was medical, I was a primary caregiver. I used to drive up down Cali, picking up cash and driving up. That's fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, I always wished I was that guy. I guess I kind of made it a try here and there. I always smoked my own supply though, but I mean, the money can be. I don't know, if I would have ever got into it, where I'm probably lucky though, because even in marijuana, there's still like a black market. I don't know. I'm just always fucking nervous about, because it's like I hate the fact that they turn weed into a drug, and now there's people think they could rob or kill over the money or for weed, a drug deal. It's like, bro, you're gonna kill someone over a fucking weed deal? That's probably not good in the eyes of the creator. I mean, I don't know how much better it is to rob someone for cocaine, but for some reason, the eyes of the creator, I think he looks at. I don't know, man. What am I trying to say, guys? Someone get up there, help me out. You guys know I need co-hosts. Timmy, thank you so much for earlier. Benton, but yeah, maybe I'll drop links to some of these people's channels. I gotta have all this shit ready ahead of time. I'm gonna look shit up. You guys are welcome to come up and drop shit in the private chat, drop some links. You don't even have to come on the show, but like, yo, I'm just here to drop links in the private chat. So did I pin that link yet? Let's see. Yeah, it's pinned up there. All right, cool. Slick, you guys are smooth. What should we get into? We'll read. Pretentious actually is what it was. Oh no, I'm very pretentious and narcissistic. Where's OTW? Was that clickbait? Yeah, that was clickbait, NJ. I apologize. I just was like, because I had this clip. I guess I'll. Fuck, what was the clip, anyways? I don't know. It was a funny clip about myself, but it was. Paul was on Benton stream. There's me, Benton, OTW, and Paul. It was actually kind of funny. I made a clip of it where Paul was saying, "Oh, he found a new job for me. I'm gonna be a salesman." Because like my sales pitch is like, oh, they're not interested in the sale, right? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm a pretty good closer. I'm pretty convincing. I don't know. You sure you don't want to just fucking buy this thing? I don't know. You'd have to listen to it back, I guess. But that's pretty convincing as a fucking salesman. There's still a black market, but it faded out. And yeah, I've seen some Jamaicans chop up dudes. Hand damn near off in a medical backroom deal gone bad. She was crazy. Yeah, dude, I bet. Because like with the prices too, it's like if this comes for $4,000 a pound, those, or even more, you get $6,000, $8,000, depending on what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like what type of weed and shit. Like that's when shit gets real, dude. Like you do 100 pack at fucking 4 G's. How much fucking is that, dude? That 4 million? Am I retarded? 1 0 would be 40. Another 0 would be 400K. If it was 1,000, it was 100,000. Yeah, so 4,000 would be 400,000. Well, whatever. 400,000. What am I talking? You guys are fucking legit. What do I got? Oh, Ask Reddit. Let's go to this Ask Reddit. Then we'll get. Hey, oh yeah, I did want to say Benton and Timmy. Who else do we have up there? Wizard. I just want to thank everyone for coming up on my stream earlier because to help me out. You know what I mean? I know I could be I could be a little fucking tough to deal with. I'll get a little, on my angry fucking rude side. Timmy's like, just pick a side, dude. Either be a psychopath angry dude, or be a loving guy, man. Can't take your fucking mood swings, dude. All right. Let me find this fucking thing. All right, here we go. What's the most embarrassing thing you witnessed happen? Is where I could sort this shit into sort by best. What did I say is best? Top. What is top? What's the difference between best and top? Oh, okay, yeah, it does. Here's by the numbers. That's what I want. Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay. Some of these I already read. Yeah, I have to find one I didn't read yet. Okay, this guy's got 3. They're kind of long, but people seem to like it, so I'll read it out to you. You guys ready? Got everything going? All right. See what's going on with shit. All right, cool. We got some numbers. We're at 11 now, so I hope some more people. We got 11 minutes into the stream, and it was 4-7. It was 11 minutes 47. 4-7's 11. We got 11 people watching. It was just 9-11. That's 9-12. So I was trying to break that down into 11 somehow. Crow 777's got me looking for 9/11 encodes everywhere. So that was just 11/11/11. My birthday's 11/4/74, 11/11/74. All right, you guys get it. Yeah, bro. Biggest deal I did was 2.5 million. And Oakland was 20. Oh, that's sketchy shit. Yeah, bro. I've heard little stories about it. I could imagine, bro. I could kind of see myself, but I don't know. I seem so nervous. But then after you do it, you know what I'm saying? You work your way up to do that, or that's what you do. It's just like now, bro. I used to get nervous driving around and doing different things, but you just get over shit. Like even now, people driving with weight. I heard like weight now doesn't really. They're not really prosecuting weight or weed shit. You get pulled over with 100 pounds. I think they just take it or something now. They'll give you a ticket. Be like a fucking citation or something, basically. But that's still shady that people you got away. They took my 100 pounds. But now you can damn near get the shit back. You're like, fuck y'all, get my shit back. But I told you not to FAFO in my hometown. Shit. What's FAFO? Freak, fuck out, freak. Good to see you back in the saddle. She likes in the hot tubs. Oh, summer and time. She's always got a throw. She's chilling in a hot tub. And she used to be a dancer in Vegas. So the Vegas dancer with a beautiful body's in a hot tub. Okay, we get it. It's in everything just about. How's your mom, Brian? Oh, she's decent, Mimi. I called her this morning. I had Benton on. And I don't know. I had kind of connections issues. Actually, let me see if I can turn down let me check my settings. Maybe I could turn off the background noise. Reduce. Yeah, man, it's sports movie. But yeah, my mom's decent. Talked to her this morning. Didn't really chop it up too much. I try to have a one-on-one with her without the public, I think. Because there's this thing, like, okay, if you have a narcissist parent or whatever, there's this thing that some people suggest that you never talk to them alone. Like you have someone on the line. I forgot what they called it, like a protector. I don't know if that's some weak shit, cupcake shit, but they say you got to have a protector with you when you talk to this person. So I don't know what a protector looks like. A therapist, someone like, I don't know. But like, yeah, the one-on-ones with my mom, bro, you can just feel, I feel like just my soul energy just being like, It's sad. I know it's sad, but it's like, I don't know how much reconciliation could be there. She's getting older, you know what I mean? She's already in her 80s. She was born in 39. So what is it? She just turned what, 84 this year? That's crazy. You're getting no younger, you know what I mean? Fuck around and found out. Oh, fuck. I told you not to fuck around and find my hometown will shade. Wait, what did I do and fucked around and found out? Get tickets and shit? I don't know. Last thing I need to be is like fucking jail and whatever. We'll see. I'll show you your rapping skills are amazing. Heard it last night and the night before after Timmy. That shit needs to be on YouTube. I see the soundtrack. I appreciate that. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I suck. But yeah, it's interesting. I think the last two things I wrote, I'll go ahead and do a acapella. But the last two things I wrote, so here's it. Yeah, the first one starts out with big black hole. It's like big black hole. All right. Big black hole, no tic-tac-toe. I tiptoe slow when I toe tag hoes. Damn, what you want from me? You know my ass from the south of the go. I got the Holy Ghost. I got the highest most. Bitch asshole, what you buying for? Damn, what you want from me? You bitch asshole, what you dying for? That's kind of something I wrote. Kind of like a hook or something. I wrote for one little beat. And then this other beat I wrote. This one's kind of long, but I don't know when it's going to start to sound funky to you guys, but in the first couple lines, all right, I'll just go ahead and do it. Fuck it. I bang when I blitz and blitz when I blang. Christmas gifts. All right, let me try it. Hold up. Let me try it. I blitz when I blang and blang when I blitz. Christmas gifts, presents, bliss. Thick chicks taking pics, mountains, bricks, hoes and tricks. Rights, freedom, standing on shit. They took your shit, you getting it back. Brick by brick, you building it back. Yeah, one at a time. Can you imagine that? They lame in the game. We orangutans we going insane trying. Wait. They lame in the game. We orangutans. They going insane trying to eat your brain. We hard to tame at the game's been changed. We stranger things, danger in range. Blang, blang, King Kong at your door. Ding dong, soft in the middle. Ding dong, back and forth like ping pong. Coming or going, you just confused. Whole damn life you've been abused. The truth ain't easy to see. If the truth gonna set you free. Come with me, we'll walk the path. One-on-one, just do the math. It equals 3 to Trinity, infinity. Don't fuck with me. I'm a ride with my steed, and I got what you need. And you best believe with an ace up the sleeve. And you can't conceive the dreams in me. Breathe, deeply, creeping, peeping out the scenery. Greenery. Team of 3 from Tempe, tempting me. Tempting, but it's empty, shallow, hollow, hallelujah. That'll do ya on your scooter. Booty pooty, howdy doody, how you doing? I'm improving, never losing. Cruising to the top, stop, stops, cops, stops. Nah, they can't figure out. I don't need the clout. It about the drop the drip. I flip the script, blah, blah, blah. I start freestyling at that point. But I don't know. There's something to that. With the beat, it sounds a little different with the beats. Because sometimes if you take a rapper's a cappella with no beat, it sounds fucking retarded. Sometimes it's just like, yeah. And without the beat, it's like, it sounds fucking stupid. Like, yeah, mama. It's like, what? With no beat, it sounds. But at least some of these might even be better a cappella. I don't even know. So I wonder if I'm ever on beat and there's an actual beat. You don't even need beats. Imagine if it was added. I appreciate that. Yeah, you guys make me motivate me, encourage me, inspire me to continue at it. Yeah, because that's good, something I've been at for a minute, dude. Like, yeah, my teen years when NWA first came out, and I started listening to it. I think it was, yeah, in my early 20s, probably, you know, there was they had these little competitions, little rap things. Oh, I could show you something from Facebook too. This freestyle I did downtown. It was just an inch. I can show you the guys that later. We got a lot of options, guys. But yeah, that'd be cool to get in the studio earlier. I was showing my cousin worked at a recording studio and he taught recording, so he hooked me up with Pro Tools and a microphone and an M box, so I could add my lyrics. I could basically find a beat on YouTube and convert that to an MP3. Take the MP3, put it on Pro Tools. That's what he did. He hooked me up with Pro Tools. He gave me Pro Tools, and he gave me like a cheat sheet for Pro Tools. Like, the basics, like how to just like get the beat, add some lyrics to the beat, and then I slowly just learned how to like make my own songs. I've been out of it for a minute, so. But yeah, you guys are just reminding me, you do things and you build momentum, and then I stop. That's like my pattern. Get something going, get momentum, and I just stop. It's probably a lot of mental, like, oh, you suck. Why keep going? You suck. When really that's the moment to keep going. Push past it. Push past those fucking thoughts. And just be like, nah. Even if I do suck, I'll improve. Just keep going. There's something. You got something. You know what I mean? Like with the comedy. Oh, I want to quit. I fucking suck. Hit it hot. You have to add it to the same place people upload YouTube. My spirit guide told me to tell you to do YouTube short raps. The way people can. Yeah, those shorts, man. I was doing little short things. Yeah, I was doing. You guys keep reminding me how sometimes I get active with shit and I just stop. Yeah, those little shorts, man. That short game. I could fuck around with that because it's kind of my style, just being silly. Those things kind of pop off, and I kind of have an eye or like an intuition for what would pop off. Actually, everything should pop off in shorts, really. If you really throw it into an algorithm and give it a chance, like but I feel like because then a lot of times they'll stop your shit. Like they got us all confined in a weird algorithm of like kind of truther community shit. They're not letting us break out. That's what I noticed. You notice with shorts because it'll hit like 5K views, 15K views, 2K views, whatever, like real quick in a few minutes, and then that just stops. It just stops, bro. So it's pretty obvious that they're just like that. If they would have let it keep going, like who knows how many fucking numbers we get. But I don't like contributing to that fucking format though, because that is like I think contributing to the ADD thing. I've been on jobs where like I'm assembling furniture and there's a little kid on an iPad or a tablet, and I could just hear whatever the fuck she's doing. Like it's all super quick, like and just nonsense. It's just really, man, it's really heartbreaking and enraging, like to see that this little Hispanic girl, this little adorable Hispanic girl, just like you could just sense that it's just awful. Whatever they're fucking, and she just constant. I don't know how they do it. They keep flicking the screen up. But just real short, like kids used to sit and watch cartoons, which I don't know how, Tom and Jerry, at least they had opera music and shit like that, and Tom and Jerry. The kids really don't do the Tom and Jerry cartoon thing. Even that, it's just like super quick format, just like bam, intense sounds and just weird, just interactions, just blah, blah. Nothing really of substance. It's not like they're trying to educate the children. It's just like all mindless, some sort of fucking brainwash. I don't even know. Yeah, what's up, Tribe? Good to see you, brother. Tribe's we got a lot of day one OG homies here. Tribe, maybe. Damsel's a little newer, but she fit right in. She right out from the gate. I remember, I think my first interaction with Damsel was her on panel with like, I think a couple other girls. I think it was Verily, maybe one other girl, maybe like Mimi or something. And we were doing like Paul would put the music on, and because I always couldn't help myself with the girls, right? So Paul would play with it because he wanted to sort of explore certain things. And so I always had to like be thirsty up there. So Damsel was getting my thirst rap. Day one introduction to Paul, I think. But it was fun. She was chilling it. She's like, I think she even thanked Paul. She's like, oh, I've been out the game for a minute, so that was chill. I appreciate that, man. So she didn't get too creeped out by me, you know what I mean? Yeah, we got all the day one. It's interesting this past year, us all getting to know each other. No Despair Bear, I known him longer than all y'all. I met him at Flattoberfest a few months before I got introduced to all you guys. That's what she said. What else we got here? Yeah, I'm just looking at the names. Yeah, Cheap Girl, fucking Mimi. Just looking for all the day ones. We got Michelle. And then there's my fucking very first time on Paul's where I did some sort of spoken word thing. Yeah, see, I'm gonna go grow the best weed, eh? That's when I was on the way to Daryl's farm. And Paul, I felt like Paul was calling me out, like, "Oh, you got to perform. It's Brian O'Shea." The build up that he does at the end of every show. So it's been the same rap from the first time I've been on the show. Now that I realize that, he does this like Jay Leno introduction. It loves for it to fall flat, motherfucking fall and slip. Dare that motherfucker. Oh, play it. Oh, play that my first time on policy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to because I want to look a couple other things up too. So he had a hard time finding it. All enslaved. Right now. Critique. Shocking performance. Oh no, I found it pretty quick.
No matter how hard you work, the unexpected can still happen.
Again, you may have seen him many times down in Dallas. He's been with many well-known folks such as Eddie Bravo, Sam Tripoli. He's been in their presence. It's true. He's verified it. He's a very funny guy. Here it is, everybody. Brian O'Shea.
Hey, you know what this is like, Paul? This is just like a cop when he walks up and knocks on your window and expects you to perform like a little monkey, like a little trained monkey, and be like, "Give me your ID." But nah, you don't do that, do you? Just like I don't do it, and I don't do my jokes when it's not in an appropriate setting. I don't just do it when people tell me to do something. So you're Mr. Officer tapping on my window right now, being like, "Little monkey, come on, little monkey, just give me your ID, give me your VIN number. Come on, little monkey, give me your plate registration. Come on, why ain't you got no plates on, little monkey? That's not right. You're supposed to have plates in your car, little monkey. Come on, you're supposed to be dancing around and clanging little cymbals and shit. Come on, monkey." Nah, I don't play the monkey. That's monkey games. That's chimp shit. That's Donald chimp shit. You leave that monkey shit for Donald. That's monkey business. I ain't in the monkey business. I'm into growing weed. That's why I'm driving to Humboldt County, California, to grow me the best weed ever made by man. Understand? That's the plan, Stan. You a fan? I'll write you a note.
All right, everybody, give it up for Brian O'Shea. So yeah, Brian, I think that was great. I think that if there's some talent scouts from Hollywood, they're going to immediately get in touch with you. Fascinating, stunning, the comedy styling of Brian.
I got to see Lou Bass there, and man, I remember the good old days when Lou Bass was fucking laying in his fucking bed. Fuck, dude.
Styling of Brian.
Oh, fuck.
Of Brian.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Comedy styling of Brian.
What is happening right now? I'm trying to
the comedy styling.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to pause it on Lou Bass and the fucking Burt Reynolds pose, dude. And then this dude, I forgot about this fucking guy. This guy used to come up. He was quiet, but then he got mad at Paul, never came back. All these cast of characters, dude. We have to roll back through the footage. Billion cast of characters. Dude. Remember Harlow? What the fuck, dude? Harlow, Ramblin'. We had the pirate ship. Damn, we had a lot of adventures. Be back in that bed. Who said that? Salty? Salty's always got the zingers. He'll be back in that bed. He has to, dude. That fucking Burt. We gotta Burt Reynolds. We gotta pull up the Burt Reynolds. We gotta do the side by side comparison. Stealing Paul's bit. Burt Reynolds. Pose. Or Lane. Burt Reynolds Lane. Oh, here, yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Hold up. I want to see. There's like a shortened version. We got to see his fucking. What's going on here? Like a longer version, dude. Or is that the picture? That's as long as it gets. Yeah, they'd be showing his junk. All right. Let me show you this. Yeah, so that's Lou Bass, right? Now let's. How do I fucking. But anyways. I'd have to fucking here. I'll do this. Is it the same? There's Lou Bass, right? And then there's Burt Reynolds. Is there a similarity there? There's something. It's the same. Look at it. No, let's go back. Okay, look at the hand pose. Let's see. In the hand position. Hand between the leg, hand on the side. Let's see. Hand right there. Hand between. Dude. It's fucking Burt Reynolds. You guys are pretty cool though. He's getting off. Didn't sound like that at all. That was a fun time. Didn't sound like that at all. I paid for broadcast. Someone's got to come up here. Come up here, Chad. Let's go back and forth. You got to inspire other people to come up here. Guess you should. You should be able to broadcast without anyone up here. You got the fucking skills. Just didn't really come prepared. Here, I'll help myself out. Try to get myself together. I'll share this tab. We're gonna listen to a little bit of this. See
my servant faster. I have 11. If your son wishes for a daughter of theirs, do the same as and sword. Injure.
All right.
8. Meddle not with the people of leader nor the ground, so that no grass shall grow upon them.
Oh, there's my classic. You guys know this quote.
Listen, there's a good chance somebody's trying to hack.
This is the Aura Linda book. This is ink.
And his mother from the land.
This text is like from before, like BC. This text is like BC shit. So, yeah. I'm still rocking it out. Strong 11. I'll just read them down. But anyways, this book is all about freedom. It's an ancient book that, I don't know, some people try to claim it's a hoax, but fuck, dude, it seems pretty good information to me, hoax or not. It's about freedom, how these supposed people from the past lived. You got this God world, but let's see what they're talking about. Let's see if they got these. So we're going through these rules they got for like society to help keep it free. Freedom is really their number one, goal to their lifestyles. You know what I mean? So let's see what they're talking about.
Repeat this to your children morning, noon, and divide the labor and the fruits, so that no man shall be exempt from work or from the duty of defense. 6. If ever it should happen that one of your people should sell his freedom, he is not of you. He is a bastard. I counsel you to expel him and his mother from the land. Repeat this to your children morning, noon, and night, till they think of it in their dreams. 7. If any man shall deprive another, even his debtor, of his liberty, then to him let him be to you as a vile slave. And I advise you to burn his body and that of his mother in an open place, and bury them 50 feet below the ground, so that no grass shall grow upon them. It would poison your cattle.
See, he laughed a little bit at that and his mother line. If you listen back to it, burn him in an open place and his mother. That guy's like, wow, but there's something to that. It kind of makes sense. Like, why would they do that? Why would that be burn him and his mother? Why not the father? Why burn the mother? Some people go like, oh, they're abusing women, but no, women in this society are they have a role. It's not like direct leadership, but what they do is, and I could play a video, but this is when numbers aren't gonna fucking get high if you actually try to do some real shit around here, without just people coming up on panel and fucking acting retarded. But whatever, it's a late night fucking stream. We'll figure out what we want to do. But no, the women in this society though, they would train them up into a position where when they're eventually real old, they become advisors to people. Like they have like their opinions and their advice is like strong. Somehow they have these certain roles. And like one of the things is if they give someone bad advice on purpose, like they could be exiled or sentenced to death. You know, it's like, so the women had a strong role, even though they weren't like the definitive leaders. They had this like, because they want, some people want to refer to the society as matriarchal because of how strong the role the women had in the society. So, but so when you, the point I'm making is when he said, kill the dude, who, if someone takes someone else's liberty, takes someone's freedom, they say you should, he's a vile slave and you should burn him and his mother. But why do they say that? You know what I mean? But if, it makes sense if you look at what's going on right now and all this like Jezebel spirits that are raising these dudes, a lot of single mothers. It's like, I don't know if someone's gonna, what are they trying, what's the connection they're trying to make there? You know, because when I brought this up to Paul, he was like, yeah, there's something there. So I don't know, I need you guys to help me because I know there's something there. I just can't really articulate it, put the pieces together. It's called intuition, wisdom, viral, slavery, snowfire. You talk about snowfire. Uh-oh. Oh, games and medics. Hey, what's up, sweetheart? Sweetie.
Oh, good. I'm in a talkative mood tonight, apparently.
Nice.
Can you hear me okay? I've had weird reception in town here. I'm just on my cell stuff, so it's been weird.
Yeah, you're on your cell?
Yeah, using cell, so it's been in and out all over the place here.
Yeah, no, it sounds all right right now.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Cool, I appreciate you coming up.
Sure.
So, yeah. So anything you want to get into, or I had a question for you if you don't have anything off the top.
No, I don't have anything on top of my head other than to say it was fun that night. We talked with, I think it was Verily and I think Mimi, but I can't remember for sure.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh,
And that was
Mimi,
like
yeah,
the second time that we talked because I had come up one time before.
Oh, that you and I talked?
Yeah.
Are you, okay.
Yeah, I think you were on panel and I talked about, my military stuff and railed on Steve-O, Mr. Marine, about DD-214 and all that. That was my first time up on Paul's.
That's kind of what inspired you to go up was DDT.
Yeah, he kind of ticked me off because he was, not only was he named that, which obviously meant that he was really into his service and very proud of it. I didn't appreciate that as somebody who's come to the understanding that we were doing wrong. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time, been a long road. I've been there for the whole journey, so just wasn't always talking until later.
Oh, right. The journey of paneling, right?
Yeah, since Paul started the panels, from day one I've been watching. So.
Oh, okay. It took you a while to hop up there that first time.
Yeah, I just took time because I didn't have much to offer yet. I didn't think that I was. You guys were interesting to watch what was going on, so I just didn't have much to say until all that came out. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I remember like one of the very first times like Paul was like, interested in starting a community. That's kind of where it started. That's when.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just ran across him. I heard him talking about it. And that's when I was like, I put in chat, I said, yo, can I live on your land? It'd be something.
Yeah, I think that I remember that. Yeah.
I put that and then he said, I think he said, email me. We'll, what do you say? Network? I forgot how he phrased it. We'll network. I don't know what the fuck he said. I don't know what the fuck he said. So I emailed him, but it was crazy the way he emailed me back. Because I hit him up with something like, I've been traveling around, kind of lost in life a little bit, trying to figure some shit out. I don't know. And I was just like, trying to like ask him about the land, right? And then he goes, he responded, he said something like, what can I do? What can I do for you, or what do you need from me? He said it's something like that. It was like, what do you need, or what can I do for you? What do you need from me, basically? What do you need from me, or something like that? And I remember I was thrown off by his question. Like, I felt like, now I understand, like, knowing who he is, but this was like one of my first interactions. I really know the dude. I only like heard him on Crow 777, I think, you know, his traffic incident.
Right.
So I was thrown off. I was like, because people didn't, to me, it was like, oh, he's a real one. I knew it, but then I still didn't, I should have just responded with something more authentic. But instead, I was like, I hit him with like, oh, yeah, I'm thinking about traveling a lot. What are your thoughts about traveling and having events, right? I switched gears. I was like intimidated by his question instead of just being like, you know, maybe like, oh, I don't even know what I want, dude. Like, I don't even know how to answer your question. Like, your question all like bugged me out, dude. Like, no one, people that like your question, like, or people don't respond like that. I'm kind of thrown off. I should have just.
Well, it's direct. He's that way, and I've gotten an email from him too after I wrote him for something, and he was the same kind of response. If there's anything I can ever do, just let me know. You know, it's like really forward. So it's like, cool. I like that though.
Right.
But it's different than other people. You're not used to that. People kind of hem and haw and try to figure you out.
Yeah. But then it made a lot of sense, because when I was on his show for a while there, like every day, like I started not really, and to this day, I still kind of adopted some of that. Like, I don't really do small talk and fucking shit. Like, people hit me up on, if they DM me and shit, if it's some bullshit, I don't even respond. Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't really do any small talk with people. Like, maybe I used to in the past, like, blah, 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 even texting. Or, like, I don't know. We lost Damsel, but it kind of felt like the little Howard Stern thing, where it's like everything's got to be on air, on panel. Like, there's no talking off. Like, even Paul, one time backstage, I was like, what's up, big dog? Trying to have a conversation. And he goes, save it for the air.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Oh, you're good.
But yeah, no, I agree. That he's different.
Yeah, I was just finishing up a thought on small talk, and how if like people DM me, like how I sort of adopted some of that to where I don't really fuck around with small talk or bullshit so much anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not a small talker either, so I don't go on phones and talk a lot or text much either. I'm just I would rather talk face to face.
Yeah.
But I get in a talkative mood once in a while and come up on these panels, so.
Yeah, like that.
Well, especially when it's something I know about, so. You had a question you said for me, though?
What was that?
I don't know.
What was my question? Fuck. Gotta refresh my memory somehow.
I'm out doing midnight laundry. The laundromat.
Oh, nice. What's my question? I know what I was going to do. I was just ask you about your dogs and shit. You got that business. I was just say, ask you how's the business going and everything. Because you're on a piece of property, kind of a rural area with some dogs and stuff, right?
Yeah, going really good with the German Shepherds and such. And actually, we're changing up some stuff a little bit, and part of a trust now, so that we can actually do service dogs for veterans that are struggling. So it's such a demand for them. So we're doing that and doing it through donations and such. That's pretty cool. Switching it up a bit and doing something more on the giving side, which I like. I prefer. Trying to benefit others.
Yeah. Fuck, that's something I gotta fucking like force myself to like, how can I fucking, what can I? Yeah, really. You just reminded me like daily. I should, even if it's the tiniest little thing, like what can I do to help someone?
Yeah, well, my situation when I was ill, my service dog actually saved my life 3 times. And if I wouldn't even be here if I hadn't had one. So it's a big deal to get a service dog if you need it. So, and I enjoy
Yeah.
working them. So the
Yeah, 'cause you
dogs
come-
love the job, man. They love working.
Yeah, because it kind of takes them from the domesticated pet to like,
They have a purpose. They know it too.
right, like when they're a sheep herder as opposed to just being
Yeah.
a house dog, or you
It's
know what I mean?
yeah, it's using their instincts and using their skills, and they love it. They thrive. The more jobs we can find for the dog, the better they are. That they're just happier. So it's a
You're
good
just making
thing.
me think like all dogs we should get away from this domestication of because if a dog used to be a wolf, if
Yeah,
that's the
they had a
lineage,
job, a life, a purpose. Yeah, and so they need that. They thrive in that kind of an environment. Even a regular, family dog needs a job every day, or they get bored and they get destructive and they do stupid shit when their minds are wandering. And yeah, they're just much better all around if you keep them busy and having something that they have to work at.
yeah. So like the way I'm looking at it, like if we're all these things where we're going to be eventually be on a piece of land, like all of us would have some sort of piece of land, like you know what I mean, and then
Yep, we'd like to
like
provide dogs for people like that. That's our other donation spot, is to get dogs to people that are needing some defensive, barking, and we even train them to bite if we needed to, but try not to have to do much of that. But yeah, just being alert dogs and watching after animals and the children, things like that. It's awesome.
yeah, exactly. Like there's a million things they could do in there, right?
Yep.
On a piece of land.
Absolutely. No, I've been living out on land for the last three years now with working dogs. So whether it be training to herd, or like I said, the service dog thing or the protection dog thing. So jobs, give the dogs jobs.
Yeah, the protection thing, like yeah, because if shit's getting weird and they're gonna try to start, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, if you can't have a gun, or if you want to keep people distant enough, a dog is a great deterrent. A lot of times people won't even try any kind of shit if there's a dog there. So it's a good thing. It's a deterrent.
I was doing this bit of black racism earlier, but watch some videos of like just black people with dogs, like a delivery person or even a cop. I saw a cop, this little Panamanian, or what do they call Pomeranian?
Yeah, Pomeranian.
At a police officer, and he just fucking lights
And he
it
freaked
up.
out. I saw that one too, man. I saw that, and I was just like, "Is that guy stupid?"
It's just like,
I'm
but
just
it's
like,
but
really? You're gonna shoot
I
a
like,
Pomeranian? You're scared they're gonna what?
I know,
Do what?
but it's like right, but it's just like it's so strange.
And what I don't like to see though is police officers using them in the ways that are destructive and not right. There's a lot of bad training and bad skills out there in people in that profession, letting them loose when they shouldn't, doing stuff to people they shouldn't. It's not
Want a
good.
jackpot?
Yeah, getting quarters for my laundry. I wish it was a jackpot. I used to gamble a long time ago. When I came back from Iraq, I was just kind of out of my mind, angry and all that. And I found playing poker, and so I played poker overseas too to kill time with a lot of the guys, but got into playing a lot of poker tournaments and stuff because I needed a little bit of a thrill still after being back from combat area and being hyped up all the time. And it kind of gave me that. A lot of veterans actually get very addicted when they come back to gambling because of that high rush of winning and competition and all that. So it's really common in the veteran population to do that. And I almost let it get out of control. I was a mess when I came back. I was angry because I knew what was going on there was not right.
Man, that's yeah. I mean, so many of us, like, they wanted me bad in the military. Like when I was going through all that bullshit I was talking about earlier, like from my past, like that's what they were trying to. They were like,
Try to cut you a deal.
No, they were trying to like, because even like yeah, you should go to the military. For some reason, it was in their head that that's what I was going to do, and like when I eventually decided I was gonna come out with the truth and all that shit, I called that lawyer up and he goes, "I thought you were going to the military. Like, what are you? Why you so fucking hemming and hawing about this shit?" Like,
I'm glad you didn't, though. You didn't need that kind of crap on your heart.
yeah, I don't know how I dodged that bullet.
God looking out for you, like Paul always says, fools and babes. You know, even me being in it, you know, I got looked after. There's a lot of
What
things
is
that
it?
could have
Fools
happened.
and
Fools
what?
and babes, babies. He
Oh,
watches after fools and babies pretty good. And I've been both at different times in my life. So
yeah, foolish babe, hot babe. Yeah, but gambling. So you play like Texas Hold'em?
yeah, loved playing it. Actually, was pretty decent at it for a female. It's a little different with us girls. But,
Yeah, that's interesting. Poker, that the men's kind of male dominated, or even like the elite players. I mean, there's elite female players.
oh
but
yeah,
still,
yeah, but it's not the same numbers. It's definitely a different kind of mindset that you have to have. It's a testosterone-driven activity, and that's probably why I liked it too. Was it gave me more of that military feel because I've always been in male-driven professions, so
it's like
I'm used to
aggression.
that.
Aggression is like they say, if you have a decision, either be aggressive or passive. Like they're on the side of aggression in poker, right?
Yeah,
So I don't know what to do here. Well, raise, or you know
and
what I
that's
mean?
harder for us
That's
females
that.
to be very aggressive. You guys are definitely a challenge. But, sometimes our feminine wiles work pretty good too because we can act all dumb and just, easy, like an easy target. And that can sometimes be successful too, is drawing people in when you got the nuts,
Yeah, I
the
heard
nut
that.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you could get into all types of situations. Like if you're decent, if you're just playing people who absolutely suck, like so it's just I don't know.
Well, it's even better when you play people who are drunk. A lot of times they were drunk when I was playing with different groups of people and different tournaments. And it's like, those were the easiest. Won quite a few of those when they're not
Yeah,
making emotional decisions, I
it
always
gets a
stay
little.
sober.
You always what?
I always stay sober when I played, so
Yeah,
didn't drink.
yeah. I've been sober like probably 98% of the time I played poker. You know what I mean? Because I was like sober when I was for like 5-6 years. When I was kind of going hard at it, like 2000 around 2009, or 10, 11. But what was I gonna say?
Yeah, I haven't played real life poker for money since, let's see, it's been since 2010 when I got so sick I couldn't do anything anymore, and I just haven't ever gone back because I knew it was stealing time that I couldn't waste anymore. So I would never go back to it just because I know I could get caught up in it too easy. And I don't have a lot of addictive personality traits, but that poker playing, I really enjoyed it. And it was real easy to get involved in. I just don't need to do that. Got more things to do that keep me busier and happier now. So
Yeah, I'm trying to find some sexy music for us to put in the background. Remember that we used to do that?
yes, I do. I remember, what do they call it? Ladies' night, when we used to do ladies' night over with Paul. I kind of miss those. Like, it would be nice to do one of those once again because those were fun, and they were, decent conversations and just kind of fun and a relaxing thing. And I didn't see anything wrong with it. Definitely wasn't looping all over the place and being angry at people. So that's good.
Yeah, and I feel like we get in the male female dynamic thing, which is what Paul tries to get at, right? Like,
yeah, I've considered starting a channel, but it's just like I don't think I could talk for hours every day by myself. That's for sure. Not every day. We've got a group of ladies to start a channel together. Maybe I I'm kind of a group person a lot of times, so I don't know. I thought about it though.
Yeah, but like even this advice I've gotten, just I could do 20-minute things. Like I don't even have to go live. Like I could just try to make something or go live for only 20. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be hours. Like if you got
Yeah.
something, but
Well, mine
I don't
wouldn't
know.
be for money either. It wouldn't have anything to do with making money. So it's not like I'd be driven by that at all. So it'd just be
Right.
to share time with and learning and my journey. Because I've changed a lot of things in the last 3 years, and it's been quite a journey. And I'm still changing. I'm still getting better and doing more. So
Yeah. How long ago did you date that narcissist, dude?
oh, that was my ex-husband, and even during my illness, since I was completely under his control because I was so sick, I even had power of attorney. He took advantage of all kinds of stuff, like took me off the mortgage and I just stole my grandparents' guns, and I mean just all kinds of crazy crap when we finally separated. But also we separated because I found out he was reaching out and then supposedly meeting up with underage girls, asking them if their parents were home and if they had alcohol on hand and that sort of thing. So that's what I was getting well enough that I could kick him out when I found out. So,
Wow.
and he also admitted to sexually abusing his daughters because I was not his first wife, and we didn't have children together. So, but yeah, it was crazy.
How does that go down to admit something like that?
He got so angry. My son pissed him off, and I pissed him off that day too at the same time. And I don't know, it was a spirit of God thing because I could feel it coming on. And my son wasn't there at the time when it started, but I knew something was about to happen, so I called him. He got there in time and witnessed it. So we had 3 witnesses there when he admitted it. So
3 witnesses.
yeah, it was just crazy. Got him mad enough to start raging, and it was like he was demon. It was kind of like that Aaron guy. He got demon possessed. It was pretty obvious. He changed, his face changed. He started yelling. He tried to run my son over with a side by side, and then it started from there. He just went off.
And he
Went
just
crazy.
admitted to something like in
that
some
was the
sort
end of
of
it. That was the last
bragging
time.
moment. He was like almost
Yep.
bragging about.
Yep, he was bragging about it and saying, viciously saying, and I liked it. It was weird, man. It was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced. So it was one of those kind of miracle moments where he could not shut himself up. So it was literally looked like a demonic kind of thing that took over him. So, and then of course it was really easy to find all kinds of proof because he left the computer open. We kicked him out of the house right then. And went into the computer, and my son started doing all the research, trying to figure out where he'd been and what he'd been doing, because he was pretty sure he had been up to more. And sure enough, we found all kinds of evidence. So turned that over to the cops. Do you think they did anything?
I wonder what their.
Well, he was connected with the cops in our local area, and they treated me like I was insane and just a hateful, wife that was kicking him out. Even though I had reams of data and computer, and even stole the computer the next day after we copied everything and made sure we had the hard drives off of it. He broke into the house and stole the computer and said it blew up, and that's why it couldn't be accessed again. But we still had the info, and I turned that over to the cops. But they chose not to do anything.
Yeah, that's interesting. It seems like that's kind of common with those personality types. They have some sort of standing in the community, so when situations like that arise.
Yeah, he did. He had a long standing with a lot of the cops, and because he worked up at the military base in the security stuff, and had all kinds of connections with all the military, police, and all that too. So yeah, it was really not good for me, but that's okay. At least I got away. Well, like I said, that guy almost was very angry when I survived because he had $1 million life insurance on me as well. And I survived, and he got more and more angry over the years while I kept living. Because I was on hospice for 2 years. Thought I was going to be gone and didn't kick the bucket. And then he also slept with my caregiver, which I didn't know about that till that all came out too. So
Yeah,
It was
and
just crazy stuff.
yeah, and when you're sick and you got to deal with like, you know what I mean? Because you probably you get like you had. I know you. I don't know exactly what you're sick from, but I think you had injuries from the military, right? Or my
I
bad.
had a vaccine toxic injuries, and I literally couldn't even hold my own head up. I was completely wheelchair bound and feeding tube the whole 9 yards. Couldn't walk, couldn't move, couldn't chew food. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Multiple autoimmune diseases, terrible pain. I was on 200 milligrams of morphine a day and had to be fully cared for. So I didn't have any way to deal with him until I got well enough. That's like I said, it was a kind of a miracle. I started getting better, had a miracle. And that's when he revealed all that. So I had to kick him out of the house, and then I got even more healthy after he left. So yeah,
Yeah, because I was gonna
crazy.
say like
It was like his
you
bad
could get
energy
sick
had to
just
get
like
out. Yeah, I had to be away from his bad energy.
yeah, those I heard those people they will get you sick like physically because that's when what did I hear? Like yeah, if you're in relations like that, you like the symptoms will be physical. Like even if it's not a relationship, I think what am I trying to say? Like
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you can definitely get illness and symptoms from people that are having their own evilness going on around you. Yeah, being surrounded by that stuff is never healthy
yeah,
for
that
anybody,
toxicity,
especially
yeah,
when they're in
that
control of all your food, your medicine, and everything too. I had one doctor say that she kind of wondered if he had been poisoning me too, because I had gone through even more illness during that time. I was
oh my
hospitalized
god.
more, and so one doctor was kind of like, "Well, did maybe he try to poison?" I have no idea. I was like, I don't know, but he's gone now. Done with that.
Wow. That's
Well,
what
he had
see
access. He could have, and he would have made a lot of money if I'd kicked the bucket. But that wasn't meant to be.
yeah, so you were thinking about starting a stream of women's panel, what you saying?
Yeah, I've considered it a couple times starting a live panel for us women to have, other people and guys, of course, up, but mostly women on the panel. But I'd rather, do it with a couple of us so that if I was gone or couldn't be there, or also just to have that supporting role. And us women, we usually do pretty good together if we work together. So it's kind of a woman thing, isn't it? Kind of cooperate. But I think it'd be cool if we started a women's panel of Slavia women.
Yeah, that because that
Even if
that
we only
whole
did it like once a week or something.
because that whole male female dynamic thing, that whole like how everything's just inverted right now. Women are overly masculine, the males are overly feminine. Get things back into balance, harmony.
Yeah, and then, share that kind of difference so that people learn, you know. You're right. A lot of people aren't used to normal roles and just talking and getting more familiar with that, and maybe going over some of that would be good. I know Paul, that's what he's been trying to get Jennifer to do, is start her own for that reason. Because she has a lot of things that she could share that she's learned.
Yeah, that's why when I was doing my thing a while back. That's why I was hitting her up. I wanted to get her on here on my stream, just to like, cause I don't know. I think she's because I'm just you could sense it. She's
Right?
absorbing a lot and just being with Paul. She's a woman.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you were talking about that.
So then we were just chopping up because I have had a phone conversation with her, so I just wanted to extend that.
Taking the journey seriously.
Huh?
And she's doing the legal, lawful stuff too, just like several of us are. I know that several of the women on the panel are doing the same kind of things that Paul and Wizard are doing. It'd be good to get the other women encouraged into taking those steps, because that's what I'm working on too. I'm doing the same thing you're trying to do. I'm about to put my car in a trust, actually this week, and probably won't be driving with plates here pretty soon because my registration's up in October. My birthday's in October, so getting ready to get that off the rolls and start correcting all the record. So
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing my yeah. You just reminded me. Because I'm just picturing like once I complete that process or move, start doing all these different things that we can do. Like it just becomes more and more empowering. Like all my little interactions with the groups. Like I'm learning a lot from that. My presentment's changing.
yeah, you've gotten. I've noticed that you've gotten more and more articulate about it. So
Yeah, and even watching Young and Fearless. What's his name? Young and Fearless.
keep practicing. Oh, he did great for his first interaction. I'm still impressed with him.
Right.
Yeah,
He was like,
he has it. He has that kind of down already.
yeah, but I think what will make him more powerful if he tones down the emotion a little bit. Because the cops, I don't know, man. Because even it depends on who you're talking to. Sometimes it's like, why even talk to these people? But
They get triggered easy, but they could have really gone off on him. They didn't.
right, but it's like holding your power. Because I see ways when I film it and I watch it back where I lose my power. Right, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like I'm not showing the power dynamic in the situation, because you should be able to show a power dynamic where it's like you're the servant, in the true sense of that word. Like, so I'm in the power position here, like but they try to flip it. They try to have the person getting pulled over being all scared, like pulled over. Like, what is that? Fucking, that's just, you know what I'm saying? That's wrong, and obviously because it's supposed to be an emergency situation.
Yeah, that you don't challenge their manhood, though. That's the biggest mistake. I think that's what Paul keeps saying. I kind of agree with that. You challenge their manhood, that's where you gotta be
and that's the thing that I'm gonna practice is just having. I want to be cold as ice, dude. I want to have no emotion, like some people get belligerent. Like, nah, I just want to be stone cold truth, dude. You know what I mean? Like, and just really honor the situation of they are the servant. No. They are the servant. They are supposed to serve there, and they're not serving. They're being aggressors and like what do they call it? Predators. They're like hiding and waiting to pounce and cause harm. You know what I mean? They're the ones causing loss, injury, and harm. So just really feel that in your heart. Really try to, you know what I mean? Just give them a look. Sometimes you could say more with a look to someone.
Well, touch their hearts too.
Yeah, that's really what I want to do is move them. Like when you move the court.
Oh, absolutely. That conviction in yourself convicts them. That's the whole thing. I think if you have that serious conviction, if you can convey that in such a way that they...
Yeah, that's the court of law, right? Because really, when you get convicted in them courts, like you...
I'm back again.
Yeah, because when you have that conviction in your heart, you say, oh, even if I do go to jail. But if you really have a true conviction, that's probably when God steps in and
I think so.
You don't go to jail. You know what I mean? Because you are convicted. So it's like that he's the law. So treat God as the law. And then you got to have faith and surrender the, you know what I mean?
The outcome. Yeah.
It's easier said than done. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, even the Bible speaks about how many times, some of the apostles went to jail, and even when they were inside, they celebrated it. And there's even claims that earthquakes happened and they were released. So there's talks, all kinds of stuff in those scriptures about being released from prison by keeping your faith and conviction and your joy, even when it happens.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's like when I did my little thing showing up to this court, and I was prepared to talk to a judge, like that act on my part of going there, showing up, trying to get into that courtroom, even though, that's not how it works. I have to go on a different day. But anyways, I thought that's how it worked. I thought I was going to talk to a judge that day. So, but it's weird. It's like something cracks in the universe. And it's all different. Like Or it's like you get your boon. It's like what you came here to do. Like you move towards your purpose, and the world becomes different. And like it's almost like there's an echo back too. Like, you could clear like generational trauma, like all pussies in my generation that have been slaved up.
Yeah.
You sort of
Well,
crack
then
the
you
code.
see it's like seeing a light, like a path. You feel driven to and led along it. I've been there, man, in different parts of my
There's
life. And
badass people in our generation that go back. Like it ain't always been fucked up. So someone you reach them and you feel them. They feel you. Then you connect with an ancestry of. Now there's probably a bad motherfucker. Like I got red hairs and shit here, bro. Like in my beard a little bit. That's some Viking like warrior shit that's in there. So like that motherfucker gets happy because he's so many generations removed from probably people that really. I mean, I don't know though. I don't know my grandparents. My grandfather in Ireland stood for something. They had their little. I don't know though.
yeah, I'm Irish and Creek. Well, obviously, I probably look a little Irish, but Creek Indian on my mom's side mostly, and Irish on my dad. Last name's Connerly.
That's awesome. I'm just noticing the chat. We lost him a little bit. It's just.
Yeah, I've fallen off a couple times, but it's better now. The internet is just not stable out here. I don't know why. In the middle of a town, and it's kind of funky. Don't get it.
So what's up with these male-female psychological dynamics? What's got to be hit on these panels? What's the topic? What's the
things we need to cover? Well, like Paul always says, the main topic should be about how we overcome the genocide and the loss of our freedoms, and how we do that in our roles, I'm sure, and how we can, find our roles again and be fulfilled in them. I think those are really important things. And then, overcoming any kind of, trauma and current like depression or mental strife that's going on is a big deal. So learning to heal is a big deal, both mentally and physically. So there's a lot to cover. I mean, there would be a lot of things that could be covered from female perspective and male. It'd be cool to invite guys up and see their perspective on what we're talking about. That'd be cool. And then critique from our women's point of view as well. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a lot of young females out here too that would be great.
The original manuscript is in.
You gonna play something?
Yeah, you said there's a lot of females out there that need that, right? Yeah, I was gonna see if you're cool with you're cool with it. You said, all right. Let's just see what this is. That Ora Linda book. This is a book about freedom. This is a book that's by the mainstream academics or whoever criticizes these things. They're trying to call it a hoax. I guess it was passed down. I guess he's going to talk about it, but let's just let him talk about it. Scrap. She's going to ask.
Let's listen to it.
Jan Ott, welcome back to Stavoren. It's wonderful to see you again. So 2.5 years ago, you educated me about the Erlinda book, and I was fascinated. You came and you spoke at our dinner, and we were in Leeuwarden, and I said, we have to do an interview. And one thing led to another, and you said, well, I'm about to publish a whole new English edition. Yes. And you did. And so we started to work on an interview, and then you also published a second English edition in paperback. So for the people watching, what is the Erlinda book?
Yeah, it's a manuscript, a handwritten text that became known in the 1870s. We are in Friesland here. Friesland is one of the Dutch provinces. Mm-hmm. And in the Frisian archives, there is this manuscript.
Right.
And even before the first translation was published, in the newspapers and magazines, there was already consensus that it was fake and that anyone who would take it seriously was a fool.
Right. Now, Friesland has their own language, the Frisian language. In fact, we were just up at the Frisian Institute. We have a wonderful picture that we'll use for this commentary of you holding the original manuscript. So, but the original manuscript is in Old Frisian, correct?
Yes, the critics would say it's an imitation of Old Frisian, but it most resembles the Old Frisian of the old laws that are known. This would be so old that German, English, Dutch, but also Scandinavian languages descend from it. Many of the words have cognates in all the Northern European languages, but there are also words that have only survived in particular dialects. When I discovered this book, and I also read all the discussions about it, I recognized it as really something significant. The theories about it did not really make sense. There were no good reasons to reject it as inauthentic. And even if it would have been, even if it would be a 19th century fiction creation, then it would still be so significant in the history of literature for the Netherlands. Because it's a book, 190 pages in the original manuscript, all in this supposedly reconstructed old language, even in a script that's not really...
My bad. I was just asking if you're still all right with this. Is it interesting enough at the moment?
Oh yeah, you could always speed it up too, though, so the chat
Right.
doesn't have to sit through it too long either. I'm not.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking about that. They were losing a couple numbers, but whatever. They're going to get to freedom here in a second, and maybe we'll cut this video short. But yeah, I'll speed it up.
Familiar song.
Yeah, I recognize this lady. I've
you
heard
heard
her
this before?
No, not this one, but I know this woman. I've seen her on something before, so
Yeah,
familiar.
Catherine Austin Fitz,
Yep.
Some people at Crow 777 turned me on to her. I
Yeah,
got
she's
some
pretty
saved.
brilliant. She's a brilliant woman.
Yeah, I got some videos in my playlist where I got her in there. Something I watched. Yeah, she's an interesting character because she seems like she's part of the political world, but you could tell she has a heart. So she's kind of seems like she's in both worlds. She's in like Washington D.C. world, and then this like truth, freedom world, which I think it's almost impossible to reconcile the two. But she seems to be some sort of bridge in the middle there.
Yeah, she's
recognizable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to say she's what?
Yeah, she just seems to be able to separate herself. I don't know if she works in the government at all anymore, but that she learned a lot of the truth there and is able to express it, and is pretty serious about what she's talking about. So, yeah, she's got some good stuff.
Yeah, like the W, A, R. There are letters that you can recognize, but also some letters that are really different.
Yeah.
There are 3 different A's, 2 different E's, different O's, etc. There's one letter for NG, also like in the runes. But this would be such a unique piece of work that it would also deserve attention if it would be a forgery.
Right.
And the way in which the people who studied it, who took it seriously, were marginalized or ridiculed, it was for me a red flag that there is something interesting there.
Yeah, if you look at the attacks like that, it's very similar to some of the attacks we see today. I mean, they've been using these attacks for a long, long time. You see this when they're trying to destroy something that they don't want to endure. It's a real effort to delete something from the public mind.
We know that in our history there have been many book burnings. And after every war, the victor would decide what the history would become and what parts would have been erased. It's the same when you study a family history or a genealogy. You find that certain stories are ignored or have been changed.
Right.
So that happens in big history, of course, as well. And when you read these texts, it's easy to imagine why the cultural establishment in the 1800s would have not wanted this to become big.
So the challenges, in my experience, over the centuries, the secret societies do plant manuscripts. They really do. And they have a lot of resources to make them impressive. So you always run into the problem here. Is it planted? Because it's not just some guy with his imagination coming up with it. It's a real plant. So is it planted or is it real? And I think what you're saying, which I think is very important, is it's significant either way.
I would think so, yeah. And
Right.
for it having been planted, there needs to be a motive. What would their purpose have been of the people who planted it? There is one theory that a preacher who was also a poet, a vicar, a village parson, that he created the narrative, and that a friend of his who was a linguist would have transferred it into this Old Frisian, and that another who came out with it, that he would have made a script. So a conspiracy of these three people, but it's not realistic. I have written a short
It
article.
doesn't make sense.
No, for different reasons. They would all have lied, and also people around them.
Right.
Even posthumously, they didn't leave anything that points out to this. The linguist would have left because he wrote about etymology. It should be possible to recognize his signature, and there have been meticulous studies to try to prove him guilty.
Right.
There's no good evidence for it.
Right.
The man over the linden, which is Ura Linda, would have been an older version of that name. He was a Navy shipyard superintendent. He was a generation older than the other two. In the time that they would have gotten to know each other, they were about to get married, remarried. They had a life. They had to work for a living. They would have had to communicate by mail about this all the time because they lived very far apart. The linguist who would have cooperated, he would have really have risked not only his career but also criminal prosecution, because at some point he asked the government for money to purchase the manuscript and to have it translated. And if it would have come out that he was involved, that would have been a crime.
Right. So let's assume that it's authentic for a second. The person who brought it forward, the pastor.
No, that was the pastor was one of the suspects of the official theory.
Right.
The Navy shipyard superintendent.
He brought it forward.
Yeah.
Now, he had it from his family, or?
He said he had had it since 1848 as an inheritance, as a family treasure. He had inherited it.
Right.
And he had tried to read it himself, to translate it. And when he was older, at some point he got the idea to ask help at the Frisian Society for Language and History. That was a group of people in Leeuwarden at high positions, notable people. The linguist, who would later become one of the suspects, at first judged it to be authentic and of significance. Later he withdrew that position, probably
that
for
happens
obvious
a lot.
reasons. Eventually, one of the older members of the society translated it, and he became convinced that it was authentic.
So let's dive in, because you can't understand why someone might want to censor this until you understand the contents. So tell us what the Erlinde book says.
It says that in the 6th century BC, in our common timeline, there are reasons to doubt that the first millennium was really 1,000 years, but in the 6th century before our year zero, texts would have been brought together from the various burgs or strongholds that there were.
Because, in Friesland.
Yeah, Friesland, but also in what is now the Netherlands or even Germany. And there was a threat of invasion, and they decided to copy all the texts that were inscribed on the walls of burgs, mostly. And some of those texts already were very old. The oldest events that are described are a cataclysmic event in which the old land, or the Oudland, had submerged, which would have been 2,200 years before our year zero. But that's the oldest text. These texts were brought together in the 6th century BC, and then later texts were added by the people who had that manuscript in their possession.
Right.
And that the youngest of the reports are from about the year zero. And then there are 2 letters of instruction, 1 page each, one from the year 803 and one from the year 1255. And most narratives are from the time of Alexander the Great, 300 years BC, and what happened when a lot of people remigrated back here.
Right.
And much of it is 6th century BC, and also a part which is mainly laws.
One of the reasons I got very interested when you first said 600, I've been reading about the Zoroastrians, because one Frisian told me that the king that founded Stavoren had gone to Persia and had studied Zoroastrism, and that group, when they came back, brought that philosophy, introduced it back. And, that there was, because we're talking about a group of people who were phenomenally well-traveled around the globe.
Yes, it was a seafaring nation, and they have founded colonies in the Mediterranean already 1,500 years BC, and later on there was a colony in northwest India, in the Indus Valley region.
Right.
And at some point, many of them also remigrated back.
Right.
If this is true.
Spice traders.
Yeah, it would explain a lot of language similarities also with Sanskrit, the Indo-European connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, so come back to the question, why would it be controversial? One of the main themes is freedom.
Yes.
And the danger of
I would not say one of them. I would say the main theme is freedom and how you keep it.
Right. Yeah. In the primal laws, by the fourth mother Freya, by the personification of their primal mother, who they named Freya. There's a set of laws that she would have left. And one of the laws
Right.
that have been controversial. One of the main themes is freedom.
Yes.
And the danger of
I would not say one of them. I would say the main theme is freedom.
Yeah.
And how you keep it.
Yes, to come back to the question, why would it have been controversial? One of the main themes is freedom.
Yes.
And the danger of
I would not say one of them. I would say the main theme is freedom.
Yeah.
And how you keep it. Right.
Yeah. In the primal laws, by the fourth themes is freedom.
Yes.
And the danger of
I would not say one of them. I would say the main theme is freedom.
Yeah.
And how you keep it.
Right. Is it
In
skipping?
the primal laws, by the fourth mother Freya, by the personification of their primal mother, who they named Freya, there's a set of laws that she would have left. And one of the laws is to never accept anyone in their middle who has sold his own freedom, or who takes the freedom of another.
Right.
And the reasoning behind it is that people with a slave mentality invite people to rule over them. And when people rule over others and they get ever more power, it will corrupt them, and a lot of misery will be the result of that.
Right. There, for me, there is, when I read the Erlinda book, there is so much instruction on how to conduct yourself so that you can be part of a group of people who stay free. So there's a lot of instruction on reminding people what they have to do to remain free and how bad things can get if they even let one bad dog in. It's very, for me, it's very good. It's very fun to read it because it's true.
One of the primal laws is also that if one of the daughters or sons want to marry with someone from another race, it should be disadvised. But if they really insist, they are free to go, but they can never return.
Right.
Because then they might bring foreign morals.
Right.
And they were very eager, very strict on keeping their morals pure.
Right.
Because they speak of the three primal races, but from the beginning, one of those races intentionally kidnapped daughters of this group to have their blood, but to also invade. It was a sort of warfare without weapons, without really fighting.
Right.
Also corrupting the morals, making use of the weaknesses of the leaders. They could be bought.
Right.
And there's a lot of covert warfare that is explained in these texts.
Well, you can see why the people who want to centralize control do not want this teaching circulating.
There's a lot of wisdom in it. Knowledge is power.
So one of the things I found fascinating was the attention given to governance structures and how to organize and train people to provide leadership and governance. And they have this one practice, which I find absolutely fascinating, which is you take the older women of the sort of tribe, and being an older woman, I resonate with this, taking the older women in the tribe and preparing them for a governance or leadership position. And one of the things they require them to do to get more experience is they send them down the Rhine to sort of study and learn about other people.
Before they would become a folk mother. There were burg mothers.
Yeah.
And on each burg there were maidens. And one of them might become a burg mother later. And there was one folk mother at the main burg of Texland. And they would not really have power, but they would have influence. They would have all the wisdom. And they could do counselings. They could also be severely punished if they would intentionally give bad counseling. So they did not have absolute power. They were a bit like the Vestal virgins later, which is also described in this book, how they became known later.
Right. So that one captured me. I'd just been in Sofia 3 years ago to see Wagner's Ring. And of course, it opens with the Rhine maidens protecting the gold. And if you come into my apartment, I've got a print of the one artist who did a scene from Wagner with the Rhine maidens protecting the gold. And so I just found the Rhine maidens suddenly appearing to be a very interesting coincidence.
There are many things that come back in our culture.
Right. So I should just mention the Rhine flows through from Switzerland to Germany, and then it splits in the Netherlands into 3 distributaries, one of which flows in the IJsselmeer, which we're right next to the IJsselmeer here. And if you look at the trade coming from Switzerland and Germany up the Rhine, it's very, very significant economically here.
There must have been a strong culture here.
Right.
Because it's a very tactical place to have, with all the sweet water, the fertile lands, the oak wood that used to be plenty here, plus the rivers.
Yeah, and extraordinary animal protein.
And so if there would not have been a strong culture here, it would long ago have been conquered by Mediterranean peoples who supposedly would have a superior culture. And then they would have occupied it here, and we would now be speaking languages more similar to one of the Mediterranean.
So if you look, the Frisians defeated the Dutch in 1345.
Said, all right.
Hey, Brian.
Not bad. You guys got a little taste. Kind of running out of steam, but yeah, I kind of liked what they touched on. They finally got to the freedom part. They got to the women and the older women, big parts of the community. That's kind of what.
Yeah.
I like what you touched on. Yeah.
It was interesting to the history of it that it was destroyed from the wall writings originally. It was on the walls. They had written it in stone. And so somebody had translated it into a book form to save it, preserve it before the destruction.
Wow.
So
They say there's something.
it's like, so that's all that mud flood stuff and all that.
So like there's laugh. It's all that mud flood stuff, and it sounds like there's a laugh track in the background.
Yeah.
But,
Sounds like those, those cataclysms that they talk about, great resets and things,
there's something up with that. That's it.
Yeah.
A 9/11 is part of a reset. But you tell me if, like, I heard this on Crow 777, but like, we take these numbers, right? Number counting. But if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And then 10 is perfection. So,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yep,
so 9/11, the 9/11 encode. So you go down this thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You skip 10 and you go to 11, right? So you start over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're caught in some sort of loop reset thing where you never get to the perfection, the completion.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know what they hijacked, but it sort of makes sense.
They might be hijacking it so that it doesn't reach, a golden age again, where people come together and do the right thing again.
Right, to get to experience that. We're in some sort of loop of it figured something out. So I don't know how to break that, or maybe we just keep doing what we're doing and have faith. It just has to work out, right?
Yeah, maybe it just has to get bad enough to finally, get people kick-started back into being right with themselves and with their creator.
Yeah, maybe they figured out how to do some loop reset shit, but yeah, we could break it. Like, yeah, they were able to do it for a minute, but now that's over. They can only do it so long.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck that means. How do you reset? Oh, I think the moon has something to do with it. They said the moon wasn't always there.
If you knew the cycles, say you're, the elites, and you figured out what the cycle was for, major cataclysms or whatever were going to come, and then you hid knowledge, I could see it being done. I mean, if you hid the knowledge like they have now, we're just now figuring stuff out again, how much we've been lied to. And,
yeah. How the fuck?
You see how they can do it. I mean, it's I consider it pretty brilliant what they do. They really are.
Yeah, there's something with those goddamn stars. They affect personalities and the retrogrades. I don't know, man. There's something to all that shit.
Well, it's also a clock, and so we don't even know how to read the clock anymore the correct way because they took that away from us by giving us timepieces, not looking at the sky anymore to actually keep your time, using calendars that are incorrect, not even containing the right amount of months for an actual year, and the days being messed up, things like that. It makes a difference because there is a timepiece in that sky, and I'm sure the ancients knew when things were supposed to change again. And they talk about the Mayans and all that with their the 2012 thing that was, of course, a kind of a weird dud of whatever, but that was a hint that the ancients knew there were cyclics, just like the Indians, and their different ages. They obviously knew there was a cycle. So I would assume that the clock in the sky is meant to tell you that if you knew how to read it correctly. But they took it away. That's why they give you technology. You have to look at your wrist to tell the time, and a calendar that's made by some men, and it screws you up, man. We're not meant to be that distance from our nature. Nature should be where we are, viewing the sky, viewing the ground, touching the ground, working in the ground. So, yeah, we've lost a lot.
You see this clock that's on screen right now?
Yes, that's the one in Prague. Yeah.
Look at
Pretty
that.
crazy how that's got a lot of the cycles on it for the moon and sun and all the seasons and all that on there.
Yeah. And like, look at the sun even like probably spins to where like the phases. And that phasing's weird. The moon's not the only thing that phases. Like Venus phases. Another one of them phases, I think.
Yep. I've seen the phases of Venus through a telescope. It's kind of funky because yeah, you don't expect that, but it is in phases.
Yeah, I wanted to pull up a star. You ever zoom in on a star or even film it yourself? See it?
Yeah, I've seen some of that. It's interesting. It's hard to tell if it's atmospheric stuff that's making it look like that, or if it's really they kind of look like that because they're in water or something. Who knows? Who knows? But they definitely don't look like some burning ball of gas or hydrogen out there. So
Here's a guy. Serious at high zoom. You see what it starts to do? Look at that thing. The way it flickers like that. Let me get this better. Yeah, anyone could zoom in. Anytime I've zoomed in, I've seen it even worse than that. Like I got a few. Look at that. That's Sirius, the star.
yeah.
They seem to have their own little cymatic patterns.
200 zoom.
Well, that's what's interesting about it is a lot of people will say it's out of focus and all that, and it's just a mess, and you're just not really seeing it. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what camera you have. I've seen it with several people taking it with different cameras, and it'll still look like the same flashing and that cymatic pattern for that individual star. They all have a different look. So I don't know how that could be a lens or a processing effect if they're always the same.
And
but
what
always
are those
different.
things? They affect our personality because I've been researching like my zodiac shit and kind of learning about it.
Yeah, I remember you
That shit-
covering some of it a month ago.
Yeah, talking about it. I
Ago.
wouldn't mind
Yeah,
exploring it again.
talking
It's like
about it.
it's just fucking gnarly, dude. I'm just dumbfounded. But I guess we have all the information. We have in our subconscious or intuition, we kind of understand this place more than when we go to try to talk about it in the conscious mind. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say.
Well, known to be.
Huh? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud about knowledge, and like when we look at all these things and get mesmerized, like, oh my god, it's so fucking interesting. But like our own body, our own human body, like it feels like it's somehow similar. It's the same thing.
Well, as above, so below. So within, so without. Healing, development. All these things are somehow connected with the place that we are put in. I mean, this place is made for us to thrive. So every part of it is made for us to do better. We just don't have to access it correctly. And we're destroying it or allowing people to destroy it.
I was just putting up a comment from Jeep Girl said it was funny seeing Jack have a bitch fit tonight.
I didn't even go watch because I figured he was going to be just railing on.
No, he came on pause for a minute. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. He was so pissed.
I think that's what she's referring to when he came on pause.
Angry. He was pissed before he even got there. So.
Yeah, because he just has to hear. I mean, I could relate a little bit to that on a lower level.
Well, if there's truth to it, if there was no truth to it at all, when people say things that are not true about me at all, I just kind of laugh it off. As a kid, I might have gotten mad, but as an adult, no. If you're saying stuff that's totally a lie about me, I don't even get bothered by it. I just laugh. It makes me laugh. I don't get angry at all because I know who I am. But if it's got some truth and you're immediately that angry, then there's definitely some truth there. It's definitely, you need to look at that.
Yeah, that's interesting. The triggers can because you could never really, you could just say, oh, I just won't get triggered. But I don't even, that's easier said than done.
But that's not easy to do if it's got some truth in it. It stabs your heart, so you have a hard time controlling that. And, you know, of course, he'll say that everybody's ruining his reputation, but no, you know, they're commenting on what they're seeing. And if it wasn't true, again, how he lives and how he acts is his reputation. So he could overcome anything that anybody says. That's what you do in the real life. You know, if somebody calls you a liar and a thief and you're not a liar and a thief and you live it out, people figure out pretty quick you're not a liar and a thief.
Yeah, the way they broke it down today, just that whole creepy situation over there with fucking Flow State, DD7, or just whatever, all the people on that panel. I mean, I guess it was good Joe Cool getting called out. But
yeah, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect Joe to come over and be okay with that. And actually, I'm really was impressed with how Joe handled it all. You know, he only got riled up a couple times, but he still stuck around and was willing to question and look at it and listen and hear other people's opinions and hear the information, which is good. So then he can make a better informed decision.
yeah. So I'm just wondering if we're going to see him over there. Yeah, I wonder with Joe Cool. I mean, even myself, like, I know I have a fucking long way to go, but I just wonder how much
he gets it. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see. Like, don't you get it? Yeah. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see how how he reacts and how he handles it. You know, he'll tell us if, you know, by his actions, if he got it or not.
Yeah.
You know, he'll do what he's going to do, but at least he's gotten the fuller picture so that when he chooses what he's going to do, it'll be obvious to everybody that was watching that or goes back and watches it what he decided. You know, did he decide the information was valid or not? And did he really look at it, or is he going to just be like all the rest of them and just keep cupcaking and kissing up, thinking that that's going to really solve it and not make it worse?
Yeah. What was I just going to say? Oh man, I think I might be getting tired.
When do you have another show for your comedy again? When are you doing that again?
Yeah, I was gonna do it tonight. Probably could have made it to a mic, but yeah, I just ended up streaming instead. But I could go tomorrow. I've been fucking going back and forth with the poker again a little bit. I'm realizing, I don't know, it's just tempting sometimes to play. But yeah, I don't know if I think it's been like a week since I've been up. I need to get back up. Maybe I can try to hit a mic tomorrow or something. But
yeah, you got to keep on it, man. So you keep getting smoother at it. It's just like your rap, you know, the more you do it, the more often you do it, the better you're getting back in that groove again.
Yeah, I gotta stay consistent, coming up with something new, either writing new stuff, just trying it out. Yeah, I've been fucking leaning on these old one-liners for years now. It's time to break out of that.
Time to freshen it up, man, and put in some new parts of your life. You've changed a lot, so your comedy should kind of grow with you, don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just gotta figure out how to record it. Yeah, I don't know, because it's like I want to introduce some of this like heady truther shit, but I don't know if I need to or what's the angle? How can I make that stuff, whatever, funny?
Do you ever remember, what was the guy's name? I can't remember. There was a flat earther that was one of the very, very first ones. You know, there was Eric DeBay, and then there was this comedian. What was his name? And that was one of the first ones I actually saw in the flat earth stuff.
Owen Benjamin?
No, it wasn't Owen. Way before Owen. Owen was years after this guy. This guy was 2013, 2012. I mean, early.
Like pro flat earth?
He did a whole comedy routine that nobody knew that he was talking flat earth until probably the end. But it made him, the way he did it was making them question everything. And he did it with a slideshow of pictures and asking jokes about, you know, like moon landing pictures and then other stuff. And then he was a painter himself. So he had some paintings. He was a photorealistic painter. And so he did part of his comedy routine, included some of his artwork and showing people that, you know, that he claimed to have been hired as a NASA artist, do a lot of those paintings for different, planets they claim that have this or that on them. And he would paint the artist's rendition of what the data said it was supposed to look like. And so he had this whole routine. What was his name? He disappeared off the scene. I guess he went down to South America. He was pretty popular back in 2014. People knew who he was. He used to have a YouTube channel, and he got banned and shut off. But it was a really interesting routine because it was funny as all get out. He'd sit in a chair and kind of young guy, rock back and forth a little bit, and just make these, make the whole audience questions. It was like things that make you go home, kind of a style. And it was really good. It was actually really funny. And he did it with normal audiences, people that had no idea that that's where he was leading them to. It was really cool, actually. But yeah, I'll have to find him again. I just can't remember his name right now.
Yeah, because I heard like Crow 777, I think, mentioned that once we turn these people into the butt of the joke, like these slavers, these slave masters, whatever you want to call them, like
yeah,
that's probably where the jokes could be, like try to figure out.
Yeah, if you could incorporate the joke of how our slavery is, oppressing us and killing us, genociding us in a way that makes people question and laugh. That's always the best way to teach. If somebody laughs about it, they remember it. So
yeah, that's what they say when we turn these guys like officially into the joke, like where the people are just laughing at, like then it's over. Like that's when they don't have power. Like, and that's maybe how I could approach even these court things or these police things. Like, you guys are literally a joke. Like, I'm gonna just turn it into a comedic, like it's a tragic comedy, I guess.
By asking the right questions, you could make it really funny, making them make the fool out of themselves. That's the
right. Even when I'm video recording, like I'm gonna always be recording this stuff, audio, whatever, in court. Yeah. So if I could somehow flip it to where, even if it's not funny at the time, yeah, then when I play it to you guys are like, damn, that's pretty funny. But like to them, they don't see that, and so now they're the butt of the joke. And now something could go viral or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I
agree. I think you should really look at that. That is a really good idea.
I could play the dummy, like play dumb, like deadpan, like dry. Like I could do it in a way where, I don't know. I'd have to figure something out. Maybe I could turn these guys into a little comedy routine or something.
You should. I think it'd be, especially in this day and age where people are feeling that heavy hand of the cops anymore, because it's definitely people that are just normies are starting to feel that everywhere. And if you could make that kind of thing funny and people start, that would be actually a really good way to wake people up and make them question and start looking and thinking about it and questioning. Well, that's what comedians are supposed to do throughout history. You guys are supposed to actually be part of the being able to tell the truth when nobody else can, in a way that makes it so you don't get your head chopped off. That's always what the jester joker has always been there to keep the king even in line at times, make a joke so that he would realize what he was doing was not right, or not wearing any clothes without ending up getting killed for it.
Yeah, if you said it directly, like the dude would have to be killed, right? But it's like, oh, it's a joke, ha ha ha, everyone's laughing, ha ha ha. But really, he's like, oh fuck, it's fucking true, but everyone's laughing, so yeah, it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's a good way to get truth out there. I've seen that been used in other forums, so why not for lawful, common law, real men and women, doing the right thing, being honorable, and doing a lot of questioning, so people will question themselves. What are you doing? You're playing the fool, because we all have been playing the fool for a very long time. And if you could do that, I think it would go viral easily. And Paul's given you a lot of stuff to question, that maybe you can find the humor in it and find that little hook in all these different things.
Yeah, I could even go on stage. Yeah, I got pulled over. I was trying some sobs. I don't know if you guys want sobs. I don't know.
You could. And then you could explain what a sovereign is, in some way, get to the point where, what is a sovereign? What is a citizen? And then, somehow incorporate so that they understand that those are literally the police are the soft SIDS because they're citizens and they've got more rights than the rest of us because they can do just about anything they want nowadays, rip you out of your car and kill you if they feel like it with hardly any impunity. So how do you incorporate that into a joke so people laugh and go, yeah, these people they're out of control. They're definitely more soft SID than the rest of these crazy soft SIDs that they want to call terrorists, which we're not soft SIDs. So
Yeah. I'm going to digress to a couple things to I'm going to read this calendar at some point, but I also want to talk about the subconscious. I read about the subconscious. How could
What
you even
about
use that in comedy?
the
Attacking.
subconscious?
Yeah, like it's just a topic that I feel like I'm not novice on. Like I don't know how much I've researched the subconscious and learned about it, but I'm
Well, that's what a Freudian slip is, a subconscious, revealing of what you really are thinking. We've seen people like Jack do that a number of times, and that's been pretty funny. If you can get people to do a Freudian slip or make a joke that includes what looks like a Freudian slip in it or something, that's subconscious coming up.
Yeah. I'm just clearing out some memory on my phone. You ever clear your memory and look at what it starts deleting? It's all creepy. It's like voice to text,
Yes.
all this shit in the background where it's like, here, let me check. I just did it, but I didn't look at everything. But it's all this. Where's my phone? Find my phone. Auto. Fuck. It's like all this like tracking meta services.
They're tracking us everywhere. I mean, they know if you've gone to the bathroom and if you've had diarrhea, probably.
So. They have audio, visual all day, so they're just doing speech to text.
Yeah,
so
don't be picking your nose while you're on here because they're watching you. The camera's always watching. Don't be picking your nose while you're.
There's some dude just spanking it, just getting off to people watching.
Yeah, stuff like that.
It's like, yeah, you're watching, huh? Right,
yeah. Well, they track everything, so they know what porn you like. They know what sites you go to, what you drool over. Yeah, they know.
I would like to see all of the. Yeah, I would like to see the file they have on all of us, and like,
Oh, I'm sure it would be shocked.
The PowerPoint presentation. I want to see the PowerPoint presentation of all of us, like what the algorithm, what the AI determines, and their conclusion is up to this point.
Yeah.
His data, they say, is so powerful. That's what Crow was saying. He was down on these live streams and shit because with all these people typing in chat, this is so much data.
Oh, it is.
Data collection. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it gets your political, your philosophic. It gets a lot of stuff out of you. Your desires are a lot of people put their desires right out there, and it makes you easy to be targeted for certain things. Absolutely. That's why I'm kind of careful what I write. I don't talk a lot of crazy political stuff. I definitely will never, say anything that's saying anything that would be, considered, terrorism. That's for sure. But people say all kinds of crazy stuff like that. I've heard lots of people say stuff, and it's like, why are you saying that? Do you not know they're recording everything? Everything is being analyzed, and there is a file on all of us.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be afraid of it. But it's like,
no, don't be afraid of it, but be wise. Don't be stupid. Just like Paul, he does a good job of never putting anything out there that would incriminate him easily. I mean, a lot of these guys say stuff that could get them in big trouble.
Yeah. But then it's also like if you rise up to any sort of you get any sort of momentum and sort of leadership. So now they got all this data. So they're like, okay, what's his weaknesses? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they'll look for that too. Yeah.
How can we sabotage? How could we? Because they used to just use the honeypot to just throw in some women, some hot chicks.
Yeah. A little easier now. They got what is that? All these different services that people are going on. Like Instagram and whatever else. Out there, and my only page. Know exactly what you're looking at.
Yeah, but a lot of it's fear when they bribe people to extort them or whatever.
That's because they feel they did wrong. If you're not doing wrong, then
Right.
why who cares? Who cares what they put out about you if you're not doing
Right. They're
wrong?
afraid what other people think, like, oh, we got you doing something
Exactly.
gay. We got you like having an infidel
Yep.
done someone infidelity.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you got to consider that. That's all can be used now. You're right. The honeypot used to be a big thing and costs a lot of money to have enough honeypots out there to get it just the politicians. But now they got everybody if they want it.
That's
Everyone.
what Epstein was doing, right? Kind of like
Yeah, that's what he was collecting data on everybody and catching them in acts that they didn't want public.
go to that island and figure out what they're into and just data points on what they're about.
Yep. It's one thing Wizard's really right about. The less data points that we actually give is better. I mean, the least amount you can do is better.
That's why maybe we'll all just shut up. Maybe our segment will just shut up at one point. Like we just don't talk. We only do shit with looks, maybe hand signals.
Yeah, I kind of wondered about that too. That as the AI gets more involved in this stuff and starting that there's different ways to communicate that we could
We just force ourselves to do telepathic communication and then telekinesis, like
Sure.
telekinesis, moving objects with your mind and also communicating. So we'll just shut the fuck up, and we'll probably gain maybe spiritual ascension quicker. Maybe the language is sort of keeping us grounded in this fucking place. We just shut the fuck up and sort of.
Well, there's definitely something to the potential of being able to communicate that way. I mean, the government has definitely done research into it. I've seen some of the classified stuff that's gotten released on programs looking at that, but also just as a mother and working as a medical provider, people get, like, I had that sense that I knew something was about to happen, that my ex-husband was going to do something, and I had to have witnesses there. And grabbed the phone, called my son, and he got there in time. But I had that sense that something was about to come down. And how did I know that? I don't know. I just knew, and I knew to make a call. And he was there 5 minutes later, and it had to happen at that time because he was about to leave. If my son hadn't shown up and answered the call and shown up when he did, the whole thing wouldn't have been revealed to me. But the same thing happens with mothers and children, and especially twins a lot, where they know if the other has gotten hurt or died, or if something tragic is happening, even when they're distances apart that make no sense that they would even know, but they can sense it. And there's communication that happens somehow at a distance with people that are close and in touch with themselves and within the creative power in some way. So. And I think it can be an accentuated thing too, because, like I said, I've had experiences where I knew something was communicating with me and letting me know I needed to do this or that, or something was happening and I had to do something. And how did I know? I don't know. But I had years during that illness that I spent a lot of time meditating because that's all I could do. I was so disabled and my body didn't work. And so all I had was my internal mind, and I couldn't talk hardly at all at the time too. There was a number of years that I could barely speak. And so I spent a lot of time focused on meditation and doing stuff with my mind and I even worked on sending messages to my children. So one of my daughter, for a while there, wouldn't even talk to me. There was a point where she spent a few years not talking to me because she was hurt by something I had done in her childhood. And she just wouldn't talk to me. And eventually, when she was willing to reach out, I had sent her a letter of apology and told her she was right, and just took all that responsibility for it because she was right. And but yeah, I was sending messages to her all the time mentally that I was sorry, that I wanted her to know that she could reach out and contact me and it would be good, because I think she thought I wouldn't apologize. That's the only reason she didn't reach out, and she was working through it herself, and it just took me being open to it and sending out that love no matter what her problem was with me, and it worked. We're real close again, so it's good.
There's something to see, like, because she said here, our thoughts are recorded. I realize It wasn't just an allegory in the Bible. It's
Yes.
like what you think is allegory is actual, and what you think was actual is allegory.
I would kind of agree with that. Yeah, I can get that, and I do. I think it's all recorded. Well, water has memory. We know that, and we're made of water. Everything around us has water in it, even the air. So, and those things are picking up us. So somehow it's being recorded.
And it was what's interesting is when we think in words. And what happens, like I said in this comment down here, I put down there that like you we think in words, and when you do vows of silence, let's say you do a vow of silence for a month or two, you'll start thinking in forms. You'll stop thinking in words.
Yeah. No, I thought in pictures and yeah, it was because I
So
had
think
that.
about that. Like if spelling is words and it's some sort of black magic, white magic, whatever, words and spelling. But like if you're thinking in forms, now you're the true creator, because that's more of a cymatic. Like you're taking it from the words, and you're like in the beginning was the word, they say, but really the word is vibration.
The thought, yeah, the internal thought was first. Before the word came out, there had to be an imagination and a thought and a form. So that's what comes before you make a word.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all need to go silent. We need to go radio silent. Maybe that'll stop giving them data collection too.
Yeah, no, it would have dual benefit, but it also how many people get in trouble just because of their mouths and their words, just because.
Is she saying they could record our thoughts? But if your thoughts start becoming forms, they can't do anything. Like let's say that's, what I mean, if you start thinking away from words, you'd be more spirit and more like instinct and more
in touch with that natural
nature.
part of us. Yeah,
Start getting around the animals and start learning from them, and look at the trees and shit, and just start getting into nature. Get away from all these words that are fucking.
Look at how the animals communicate. They communicate silently a lot. Body language, scent, eye contact.
That Jesuit shit, they used to do little hand signals. They used to be able to telepathically communicate, and then they'd have little hand signals. But I don't know why they would need hand signals if they could do it telepathically. But telepathically, yeah. But what was that movie, Dune? I don't know if you feel like the movie Dune. They had this Jesuit mother.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, Crow 777 would talk about that movie a lot. But like, so they got the Jesuit woman. She tested this kid, right, to see.
Right, made him put the hand in the box with all the pain, and he had to not pull it out or he would die. Right,
because they're testing him. Like, look, I'm telling you, I think there was a test to see if someone was human or not. Because what was it? I don't know. The human could figure it out or something. But anyways, like, yeah. So it's like your hand's not getting injured. Do not pull it out.
Yeah, it's almost overcoming a major fear and pain. If you can overcome, pain.
It's like the fear of death on this planet. Like, yeah, it's almost the same thing. Like they try to scare us with death and pain in us. It's like, no, you're not getting injured, because like you're not the body anyways. You're spirit. So it's just like, why would you not make moves? Why would you make moves to compromise your spirit based on a physical reality that's not even real?
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because this is the simulation. The spirit world is probably where it's at.
The body is not you. It really isn't you. It's your soul. And that soul has a lot of power. It can overcome pain. And I know, because I've overcome a lot of pain. So I know it was a mental game.
You ever have an out-of-body experience?
Yep, and I had a near-death experience as well. I nearly died a couple times. So, yep, I sure did. Pretty extraordinary. It's hard to even explain what happened and what it was like.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know, one time I was in a classroom. I think I remember in grade school, classroom. And all of a sudden I remember like looking at myself in the ceiling.
It was good though.
Yours was good, you're saying?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I felt, I was in so much pain and was dying, and it was so freeing because my body had trapped me. I was literally trapped in my body. And I felt separated from my body most of the time anyway, because I couldn't control it. I couldn't move it. It would have uncontrolled movements that I had no conscious thought or of awareness of. It was a pretty crazy time for me. So I went through a lot of very, very spiritual experiences because I was forced to. Everything was removed from me, my ability to move, talk, think out loud to people. Communicating was extremely hard. I couldn't hardly talk, couldn't eat. So I was being fed by a tube, so I didn't eat even, other than when people, put stuff in this tube for me. And so it was a very forced meditation, I would say, because that's what I took it into. I had to separate from my body because it was separated anyway, and it was so painful and so distressing. That was the only way to cope, was to actually really separate from my body.
Yeah, because I wonder if maybe that's what I did. Like, I don't know if something was going on. I just remember maybe the other kids were in recess and I got this teacher. I don't know, maybe the teacher was doing something. So I kind of like left my body, like you said, to cope with, to cope with what maybe, I don't know, I don't know. I'm putting this together now. I'm trying to figure out why that happened. I thought it was because I took some medication.
Maybe it was because of emotional stuff. Stress will do that. People separate because of stress even. So
Right. Yeah, because I get so stressed out at home, or maybe something was going on. Who knows what's going on in them schools? Who knows what goes on in schools, those creepy ass places like that draws a certain type of person to go work with children. I mean, like,
yeah,
so,
and I would say even as a child, I had a few experiences too where and it's much easier when you're a child. I was, just like most kids, pretty innocent, and it's easier to escape. Use your mind to escape. That's how children,
it's like
deal
an
with trauma.
instinctual thing. If I look at it, like something happened that was just so, I don't know, like, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know how much I want to get into it, but
That's okay. You don't have to. But you had an experience that you can do
like,
that. If you can do
I don't
that
know
as a
why
child,
it's like coming to me now. Yeah.
if you can do it as a child, that means you can return to it. And I think that's
Yeah, there was like an instinctual thing. Like, you're just so blown away by like a concept that it's like, what the fuck is happening? Like, oh, this older person who's supposed to be protected, or like, you can happen with parents like that because they're like God. So you're just like, you have to cleave reality to survive, because you're like, how could this parent be this cruel and unloving or hate, like evil? And it's just like, no, this is my caretaker. I'm dead. So I have to sort of make this make sense. So you'll just maybe block out something. Like, all right, that didn't happen, or that's just.
Yeah, you'll disassociate is what they call it. And unfortunately, some people split personalities when that happens, but that's probably not healthy. But if you can disassociate, where you can remove yourself and be outside of it and just be able to put it away till another time where you can actually be capable of dealing with it.
It's the Humpty Dumpty. You get broken, you get fragmented, but then eventually you got to maybe recombine them. Maybe
you got to resolve it again, put it back into focus so that you can understand.
Remember it, right? The members are separate, so you got to remember.
Yeah, there you go. Remember, so you put your pieces back together.
Yeah, because you blacked it out.
Yeah, there's a healthy way to do it, and then there's an unhealthy way. Just like any of these things, it seems you can go one way or the other, good or bad. And the multiple personality thing is usually extremely detrimental. But the disassociation, where you actually are, outside your body, looking at it as a separate thing, and then able to reconstitute again, remember, is definitely a healthier way to do it, so that you can cope and use it as a tool when you need to. Because there are going to be times, even as adults, I already, experienced that you have to be able to disassociate from what's going on so you can act in goodness and rationality, and logic, and not just pure emotion.
Yeah, that's kind of like a feminine quality, right? They're kind of ruled by emotion a little bit. So
that can again be hysteria. That's where the word, histrionic personality, or hysteria, that comes from the female genitalia. That's why they call it.
They made that movie about it. Like, doctors used to manually give the
Yep.
women orgasms with their hands or whatever. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
during
it's
the
just like
Victorian age, yeah.
it was just a clinical thing too. So how is the mentality of that? Like he's clinically just
I don't know,
stimulating.
because that is so distant past. That was the Victorian era, and was considered so taboo later on, of course. But it also meant that their sexual lives at home were obviously really cold, not normal. So something was wrong there too in the
And who
relationship.
knows about how much of our history we know, like these different ages and eras, Victorian.
Yeah.
Like how much of that's accurate. You know me with my old buildings, like none of this shit makes sense. So
Yep.
crazy buildings, but no, but yeah, there has to be. Yeah, the coldness at home. Yeah, you got these women. Like it's kind of, I don't know. Is there something similar today? None of the women today are really being satisfied at the end of it. They're not orgasming.
Yeah, but it's also a lot of that's again, social constructs and social pressures to make you think certain things have to happen to make you happy and satisfied, and not being your true self, and and not being a servant to each other. I think that has a lot to do with it, that people are so selfish nowadays. They don't serve each other even in the relationship, down to the sexual. So
Thing of service. Yeah, you could look at service. Yeah, I mean, at the highest level, sex is the law. So if you just break things down from there, like you could do service
equity,
and
service, yeah, it's all the same. It's everywhere. It's fractal. It's a fractal world. I mean, if it's holographic, which I think it is too, it's fractal too. So it means from everything down to the smallest part of us is the largest, the macro is, it's all the same thing, same everywhere.
So she would probably, I should probably have that on more of my conscious mind till it becomes subconscious, where it's like in all situations, I'm like, how can I be equitous? How could I serve?
Yeah.
Like in all situations and all moments, like, and just thinking about it, like any little things that come up, because I think it's the little, you notice, like you could take, if you're getting pissed off by little things, it's probably a barometer of where you're at sort of spiritually at the moment. Like you're off your center, you're off your square.
Yeah, because when I'm in the mode of service and wanting to give other people things they need, or other parts of me things it needs, then I'm free to be joyful and grateful for whatever is going on, even if it's the most monotonous, minuscule task, lowest of low. If you're into that service mode, then it's not a big deal. It's, you find joy in even the littlest thing, even if it's menial.
Right, because we're always like, rushing, I got to get here, I got to do this and this. But if you're like, okay, equity and serve at all times, like, I don't know. It just
it puts you in a different state of mind. It puts you in a good place.
Yeah, that could sort of build. Because it probably feels good. Okay, yeah, it is the little thing. I gotta be of service. I don't know.
Be to service to yourself and service to others, and always in service to your creator. So if you're doing that from the top to the bottom, you're going to have success. You're going to be given more blessings because of that. Like I said, even if it's menial, or even if it's the lowliest of low, you'll still find that peace in it. Because when you're equitous with somebody and in service, you feel good. It always feels good when you have the real heart for it.
Yeah, because everything's flipped now, where it's like, oh, how can I get mine?
Yep. And you never feel good when you're just trying to be selfish and out for yourself. I've never felt good doing that. At least I never have.
Yeah, look at all these like crazy business people chasing the fucking money and dominating and fucking, I'm gonna get it, but they're all fucking miserable, drugged out, sex addictions, like want to commit suicide. It's never enough. Like, fucking.
Yeah, it's dirty feeling. It makes you feel angry and dirty, and yeah, I just don't like it.
Yeah. This is good shit. I should probably try to get some sleep at some point.
Yeah.
And
I gotta fold some clothes again, and then I'm out of here and get to bed too.
yeah.
But yeah, good talking to you. I'm glad you opened the panel up for me. I'm surprised
Yeah,
nobody else came up, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, I seem to be better. Like if I do a morning one, like if I'm at like bust one out, like say 8 in the morning, 9 a.m. And I bet you people will come up. It's just this late night's a little different. And it's been a long day. You know, Paul's been streaming. Everyone's been streaming. So it's just like, but I'm trying to figure this stuff out. But yeah, I really appreciate you coming up.
Yeah,
And,
no problem. Like I said, I was available today, and I was up late anyway. I had to be up, so it's all good. I appreciate you keeping me thinking and on a good vibe, man. What was it? They're always saying we're vibing high.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
get on Paul's panel and sort of try to steer it towards these male female dynamic talks or whatever that he's trying to get into. You know,
I think we need to get something going. You know, even if it's not me that starts it, but if I could get it started, that'd be great too, though. But I think it needs to happen. We need that female version of finding our route through this crazy world right now. How we're going to deal with this, and then how we can be service to our male counterparts. You know, what does that mean for a female to make it so you guys can be the warriors you need to be through this? The warriors in the garden.
Yeah, and how does a man serve a woman? See, I'm so fucking retarded. See, it was easier when I was like, oh, be of service at all moments. Because how's a man in service in a relationship?
There's many ways. I can think of a lot of ways. You know, the way you approach a woman, definitely the way you treat her, and even the sexual, you know, service of just wanting to please each other. I mean, that's a real hanging up point for a lot of people now. As like you were saying, there's a lot of sexual dysfunction out there. People seeking it outside of their relationships because they can't get satisfied within them. And so that means they're probably not in service to each other in the way they should be. So there's that.
They probably start off in a way where it's not in service, right? And then it just
yeah. And then there's, you know, service of, you know, making for women, we thrive on feeling secure that our man can take and care and handle things, and that we can trust him to do that, so we don't have to nag him to get him to be the stand-up guy that we need him to be, the protector, the one that goes out and hunts the meat or the vegetables or whatever it is. But you know, how can
so I guess if a man is serving God, it's easier to serve a woman because you can't skip.
Yeah, because if you're serving God, who is the creator of you and the lover of you, if you in turn do the same that God does for you for us, you know, love us like God loves us or loves you, that could be a powerful thing.
Yeah, and the way to do that would be, for me, would be like to start learning about fucking what a man is and what a woman needs and how can I be of service, and that to me would be like serving God. Like
it is. It's serving God too. Doing what you're made to do is serving God as well. Being the best that you've been created to be is serving God. That's honoring your father. That's what that means. Honoring your father and your mother. Well, that means being the absolute best you can be because you were created to be the best.
Yeah, he's the daddy.
Yeah, your daddy and your mama, you know, and then even people talk about, you know, honoring your mother and father, your physical mother and father, your worldly one. Well, if they're really horrible parents, how do you honor them? Well, you live better than them. You raise your children better than they did, and you show them how that you still overcame and became the best you could be, even with all that bad stuff that you may have had, whatever may have happened. That's honoring. Doesn't mean you have to, if you had an abusive parent, that you have to praise them or anything like that. No, you just go and live better than they could ever imagine for what they did to you. That's honor.
Yeah, I remember when I was doing my twin heart meditations, and I was activating my heart chakra. There's like a real feminine aspect to it, in my opinion. I think in standard opinion too. But yeah, so I was really getting in tune with that female aspect, and you just reminded me of it, because a lot of times we think of God, it's like a male thing, but you know, could be a female aspect to it. You know, a lot of cultures got it. You know, there's Kali, and in Hinduism, there's Mary Magdalene or Virgin Mary.
Well, a lot of the Hebrews, they or the Israelites or Jews or whoever you want to call them, they claim, a lot of them claim that the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, is a feminine, and that's possible. And then in the Native American, it's Mother Earth, and then the great, Father in the sky, the Great Spirit in the sky, is the Father. So there's something there with these archetypes, and obviously that's what we're created to be, is a woman and a man, and then children. So yeah, there's got to be an honoring of both, not just the father, but both the father and the mother.
Yeah, when you're balancing on your square, when you're balanced.
Yep. You're balancing both sides of your DNA that came from two separate people that way too. So yeah.
Well, I think that's a good place
Good
to end
ending
it.
point. Yeah, and good things to think on. Yeah.
Right.
To sleep on.
To put into our subconscious to sleep on, but hash out, do it again tomorrow. You know?
Yeah, we'll talk about it again and get it worked out. But yeah, I think whatever you can do to help me get these women together and maybe want to do a panel, it'd be good.
Yeah, they all seem down to it. Shelly's down there saying, "You gonna do a live, damsel?"
I would like to. I think that's just do a panel that's in the evenings, because I have some space and time there, and or maybe in the middle of the early afternoon. So whatever would work better for people. I think it'd be good. I haven't set up a channel yet. I've just been thinking about it for the last month. So it's been on my mind. So that means usually if it's on my mind, then I'm supposed to do something about it. So
you don't have it set up, so you could give me a link right now, right? You said you got to set it up.
Yeah, I haven't used my own YouTube yet, so to do anything with, I've never made anything creative on it yet. So I have to figure out how to set it up and get it going. But I'm
making
sure
a channel is pretty super easy. I guess you just give them an email.
Yeah, and I think I would probably set up a separate channel and maybe call it the Women of Enslavia or something. Maybe the girls can come up with a name, but something with the Enslavia group, so that people know where to find us and what it is about.
The Allie started one called it was called Woman Unslaved or Women Unslaved. Woman Unslaved, I think she called it. But whatever.
Yeah, we'll have to put something in it just so people will link it.
Right. All right, damsel. Any other final words before I kick you out of here?
Just wanted to say thank you, and yeah, you get some sleep, man, and consider that comedy stuff. I think you could hit that and be really successful. Making people laugh about all this tragedy. There's comedy and tragedy. Get people questioning.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that.
Yep.
All right.
We keep moving forward, man. All right.
All right, I will. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Blessings on you, man. Good night.
All right, blessings. Bye. All right. Should I put my big fat face in here? Fucking. Whoa. All right, guys. I thought this was pretty decent. Yeah, much love, Mimi. Look at that beautiful Mimi over there. We got to get her back on stream, doing our thing. Adorable Canadian accent out there, doing her thing. My big fat forehead. All right, guys. You guys are pretty cool, man. I like you guys a lot. Hopefully something went into my subconscious. So I probably got to drill my subconscious. Just come on these things. Try to fucking reorganize. You know what I mean? This shit fucking balanced. Figured out. And got a good track. All right. I'm rambling. I'm out of it. You guys are cool. You guys are all right, man. Much love. Blessings. Peace. No chicken grease. All right. I'll see you guys later. That's it.